What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Golf and Gospel Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Davis, former NFL player and host of Golf and Gospel. Hey, dog, my normal co-host, the homie Nate Wong, the best PT in Arizona, he's not here. You know where he's at? He's in Nebraska somewhere crashing a wedding. So I'm going to have a new fill-in co-host this week. You will see in a bit. But right now, we got to get to women's golf. But before we get to women's golf, I need y'all homies to do us a favor. Need y'all to like and subscribe right now, as well as rate us on Spotify. Let's be honest, man. Some of you guys listen to this podcast. Y'all know we the best golf podcast out there. We better than Golf Channel. We better than Golf Digest. We better than Foreplay Podcast. We better than No Laying Up, man. Whoever you want to think of, we're better. We're better. Yes, I know we gotta cement ourselves. We gotta get more content out there. We gotta continue to break down this thing with golf. But just keep it a buck, man. We one of the best out there, dog. So please do us a favor. Help us out. Help out this algorithm. Like, subscribe, rate us on Spotify. But bro, we have to get to women's golf. We love women's golf here on Golf and Gospel Podcast. I got a lot of homies on the Epson Tour, got some homies on the LPGA, retired LPGA Legends Tour, whatever tour you want to think with women's golf, I got homies on there, and I'm always going to respect them. Also, because I can never beat them. You can go over to Golf and Gospel YouTube page, check that out. Got some dogs on the tour, bro. They're super, super talented. But again, let's get to the LPGA. Shout out to Akaya Iway. Gets her first win on the LPGA, dog. It's hard to win on tour. She gets her first win as a rookie here at the Portland Classic, matching her actual twin sister, Chisato Iway, who won at the Mexico Riviera Open earlier this year, man. So shout out to them two rookies who are being dogs on the tour. I believe her sister Chisato probably finished somewhere in the top 5, man. So that's incredible golf for both of them, man. I love the family dynamic, man, pushing each other to get better. And not only were they competing this weekend, I feel they're competing for Rookie of the Year. Right now, Akaya's in 4th. For the Rookie of the Year, as well as her sister is one spot ahead, Chisato Iway, for getting Rookie of the Year as well. So, man, shout out to them two, man, just playing incredible golf this week, man, at the Portland Classic. Like we've been saying all year this year on the podcast, there has not been a 2-time winner on the LPGA this year, which shows you how equally distributed the LPGA is in talent. And there's some dogs. Don't think it's just weak and like no one can hold their own. This is a dog of a tour. And people are just showing up each and every week, man. Like the PGA, every week, okay, we get it. Scottie. Here, we just don't know. Number one golfer on tour is for sure Gino, and Gino is a dog. She didn't capture a major this year. She's been close a few times, but we know Gino is the one. However, you just never know who's going to win on this LPGA tour, man. These women are so good. And again, if you want to see them play from a YouTube perspective, go over to Golf and Gospel. Go check it out on the YouTube channel, man. These girls are good. I've had at least 6 who's a major winner. Bianca Packdagadin, one of the biggest hitters on the tour with that driver, man. She was out driving me every single time. Go to the Epson Tour. We got the homie Riley Linnell, Haley Cooper, Nicole Rupp, Maddie McCary. Some dogs. Go to LPGA Legends. You got your homie Tracy Hansen. There are some dogs in women golf, man. So support the women, man. Hey, dog. Support the women. Support the women. I want to move over to some homies on the Epson Tour that played in the field this week at the Portland Classic. Starting off with the homie Gina Kim. She got my dog Bruce Quickle on the bag this week, man. They did a fantastic job. I believe Gina Kim finished with a T11 this week, which is really solid. At one point, she was T5, man. But T11, getting into the field this week, that's incredible, man. Shout out to her, man. Been having an incredible Epson Tour year. She's a 3-time winner. At least she has 5 top 10s this year, and she already secured her LPGA card, man. Nothing much needed for her to prove on the Epson Tour, but I'm happy that she kind of put her footprint in the LPGA field this week at the Portland Classic. She shot under 70 every day this week, man. Something I've never achieved a day in my life. That's how hard golf is, guys. And if you think golf is easy, go out there and go play 3 holes at your local muni. Go try it right now. Right now. I'll wait for you. Go try it. Next, I want to move over to the former USF Bull, Melanie Green, finishing the top 30 this week, man. That's fire. And she's a rookie. This is her first time doing professional golf. She is a dog, bro. Her Epson Tour season's been going amazing as well. She has one win this year, with 8 top 10s. And she also has secured her LPGA card, just like Gina Kim, man. So she showed out today, man. Shot a low round of 66. Dog. 66, bro. Fire, bro. So shout out to Melanie Green, man, for doing well, getting the top 30 in her LPGA debut. But I want to transition to the Epson Tour. Again, got plenty of homies on the Epson Tour, man. Shout out to Erica Hara. I don't know her, but I still got homies on the Epson Tour. She gets her first career win on the Epson Tour, man. Fashion, I believe she won by 3 strokes. I think currently right now, as I'm recording, the Epson Tour is finishing up. But they were through 16. She was up by like 4 strokes. No one's really catching her with one more hole left. So shout out to Erica Hart for getting her first victory on tour, man, to go along with her 7 top 10s this year, man. So again, guys, these ladies, man, I've seen it up in person, dog. They are so good at the game of golf. Support women's golf, man. Again, go over to Golf and Gospel YouTube and see how these girls be hooping, bro. Go see even former golfers, man. We got new moms here. You got Amy Olsen. Well, she's not a new mom, but she now has 2 children. But she was a dog on the tour. Played with her. Emma Talley, the homie. She just had her first kid. She was a dog on the tour. A lot of women golf. We got even mini tour pros, Cecily Overby, Christina Siaska. Go check out her episode. Really, really talented group. And they all love Jesus, man, sharing the gospel as we're competing in the game of golf. So appreciate you guys. We're going to move over to men's golf now. And we're going to have the fill-in co-host for my dog, Nate One. Because, again, he's over in Nebraska crashing the wedding. Here we go. And like I said, we got a new co-host filling in for my dog, Nate One. It's the homie Chris Elliott here early on the Golf and Gospel days, man. Beat me by, I think, 3 strokes because I folded on the last hole, man. But he has a amazing story, man, just his transition from being a player to becoming one of the best PTs now in Florida. But, yo, shout out to my dog, Chris Elliott, man. Also, go check out Beyond the Game, man. It's a New York bestseller time devotional. Well, it should be. It should be. It should be, man. But it's a devotional written by athletes for athletes, man. So please go check that out. And, Chris, man, happy that you're here filling in for us. Obviously, like,
appreciate you having me.
Yeah, like I said, we discussed, man, you were at GCU going to South Florida. We're going to miss you a lot, man. But luckily, like I said, me and my wife go to Tampa all the time. So our fellowship would not end here, dog. Yeah, so let's talk about the BMW Championship, man. It's crazy. I'm gonna say first off, before we fully get into it, if I was Rory McIlroy and I seen what Scottie did on 17, I would have broke down in tears, bro.
Did you see his reaction? He just he just looked in disbelief. I mean, when they showed the camera view from like the grandstand and everything, I mean, he and his caddy, I mean, it was just the life. Just that was it.
Yeah, it's because what do you do after that? What do you? I mean, obviously you keep playing, but like it's over. And I said for the most part, it hurts looking at it from an overall standpoint because I believe we started off Sunday, 4 strokes up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that
bro.
went away, after 5 holes?
I think so because I think he bogeyed the first 2 holes, man. So it was disappointing. But before we fully get into the BMW, guys, I just want to talk about the importance of praying for your friends, man. Obviously, Ted Scott, very, very cordial with him. He's a Golf and Gospel alum, if you want to call it. Great guy, man. I want to make sure that we're uplifting him in prayer with the family matter that's going on. Not going to get into detail, not going to speculate anything about his life, man. But I want to hopefully say that we carry out the importance of praying for our friends, man. I want to talk about what it says in 2 Timothy 1:3. It says, this is Paul writing a letter to Timothy. He says, I thank God who I serve, as did my ancestors, with a clear conscience, as I remember you constantly in my prayers night and day. So we see the importance of the consistency, the constantly we should be doing for praying for others. I look at Colossians 4:2. It says, be constant in prayer while being watchful with thanksgiving. And I don't think we should be selfish with our prayers. We should come to prayers with petitions when we do need something, but let's also be selfless when it comes to praying for others. And we want to make sure we're walking that out in regards to the situation that's going on with Ted Scott. Yeah, absolutely, man.
And
absolutely.
He's a guy that, I mean, you talk to everybody, you meet the guy once and everybody feels like, you know, they're best friends with him. And so,
absolutely.
I mean, he's got that presence on people just because how vulnerable he is. I mean, he's unapologetic about his faith. And so I know that him knowing that he's got a lot of people praying for him, regardless of what's going on with the family. I mean, he's the type of guy that he's done a lot of really good for a lot of people. And so I know that he'll feel blessed and very uplifted by people's prayers.
Absolutely, man. So again, guys, I encourage us to walk that out. If you heard this, if you're in your car, you're in the gym, whatever you may be doing, stop and have the heart posture to pray for Ted and his family, man. But let's get fully into the BMW Championship, man. Before we get, we're still going to get into that. We got to talk about Tiger. And this is probably an outlandish question here, but I'm going to ask it anyway, bro. Mm-hmm. Is what Scottie doing this year, is it in a degree comparable to Tiger's 2000 season? And let's compare them. And that might be a weird question.
Okay.
Tiger, 2009 wins, 4 runner-ups, 3 majors. Scottie, 5 wins with the season still to go.
Yeah.
1 runner-up and 2 majors, man. Are we seeing some a similar, presence in what Scottie's doing this year?
I mean, it's still that 2000 season's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, because Tiger wasn't just beating people. I mean, he was destroying people. Like it wasn't even close. And I mean, really, until recently, I think like what made Tiger so great is if he was in contention. I mean, if he was on the leaderboard, going into Sunday, everybody in front of him would just fall apart. And I mean, today you had that with Scottie, but I mean, you look at how many. Scottie's in the top 5 all the time, which I mean, it's no knock on him, but he didn't have. He's getting more of it, but I don't think he's had that just like pure intimidation factor. Like when Tiger was climbing the leaderboard, I mean, everybody, it was just people just fell apart.
For sure.
Where you're seeing it a little bit with that Scottie more right now, but I don't think it's quite there yet. But I mean, it's impressive what he's done this season. I saw something. I was curious your thought. His chipping on 17. Was that the best hole out he's had in his career, do you think?
I think so, man. I was talking to my boy Kyle Unfred. Kyle was an equipment manager on the Chargers when I played, and Kyle's actually really good at golf. He's probably like if I had to guess his handicap, Kyle, tell me if I'm wrong, he's probably like a 1 or 2. Kyle's really good at golf.
That's only like 15 more than me, but.
Yeah, there we go. But Kyle was talking about how, like, bro, like, Scottie before this time, even though he's won quite a bit, he hasn't had like an iconic shot to make you go like, oh man, like Tiger's had like these chip ins or like these hole outs or like these amazing putts that like solidify it. Now, granted, to the Scottie stand, they'll probably say like, well, he's always up 4 shots, so it's not needed, possibly. But 17 kind of like added to that resume of excitement, like because I think at that point, Scottie might only been up 1 stroke.
He's only up 1, yeah.
Yeah, and 17 was playing the hardest hole, throughout the tournament. So for him to have a chip-in birdie to that magnitude,
he could have flown that ball way, rolled it way past too.
Because it's funny, we saw Sam Burns. I think he was in the group before them. He kind of flew it a little bit, not too bad where he got in trouble, but he ended up on the fringe. But I think that shot right there was very Tiger-esque in terms of like remembrance of what he did, especially when it comes to like playoff golf. But
the only other one I could think of was it 20 the first year won the Masters 2022.
He 4-putted though, right?
He did. I'm saying earlier in that round, I think it was like on hole like 7 or 8. He had that chip where he skipped it up off the hill and holed it out. Oh,
okay. Yeah.
But again, that was early on. It was the final, but it was early on in the round. I don't think it's it's a lot more at stake because it's Masters, but it wasn't as much at stake because it was you weren't going into the final 2 holes. So, but
I wonder when someone would say that the clutch gene turns on. Is it the final 4 holes, the final 5 holes? Because usually the front 9, like obviously every hole matters in golf, but like it's like when you get to that back 9 stretch, then it's like, okay, I have to turn it on here. And the reason why I'm saying this is more significant too, because like we already said, hole 17 played so tough, bro. So tough. People were not really coming out of there with birdies, man. That was the same hole that actually Akshay Bhatia, I believe he aced, and then he bogeyed.
And then he bogeyed,
and almost got himself out of the top 30. Yeah. Now he needs to go pay Victor Hovland some money for making that birdie and getting Michael Kim out and getting him back into the field. But obviously I do believe Scottie has a long way to go until like he's in Tiger's presence. We keep forcing the comparison, but it's like
that's why it's like I don't even think it's fair to either one of them. Like
it's not.
I think like right now you're kind of minimizing what Tiger, just the dominance that he had.
Yeah.
You're also minimizing like what Scottie's doing right now because it's just like just appreciate. When people bring this comparison up all the time, it's like one. I mean, Scottie's played half of what Tiger's full career is, so like let's let it play out a little bit. But then two, like if you're not appreciating what he's doing right now, and you're always looking at like comparing it to Tiger, like you can't fully like appreciate just like what incredible golf he's playing right now.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, if we get fully into the BMW, man, let's talk about Rory McIlroy, man, because I hurt for him to a degree. Look at after day 1, bro, putts per green in regulation, he was 1.3. And then got to day 4, I believe he only had 1 birdie, which is fully disappointing. So the question I have for you, would you rather be up 6 strokes to Scottie on day 4 or have Scottie have a 3-stroke lead and you're chasing?
I mean, I think anybody would say they'd rather have the advantage, but
for sure,
I'd rather go out with like nothing to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because especially like with this course, like the last 3 holes, there's a lot of risk, a lot of reward and stuff. And so, so I mean, even if it was, it was close, if you're up or you're tied with Scottie going to those last 3 holes, it's like, how aggressive do you want to be? Do your nerves kick over? Like all that stuff. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to turn down a 6-stroke, but there's no pressure on you. Even if I think going into the final day, if you're tied with Scottie, you got no pressure on you really.
So you rather be ahead?
Yeah, I still think I'd try to take my.
Yeah, I see both sides because it's like, man, if I'm ahead, I have a chance.
Because has
But
Scottie ever blown like a lead and going into the final day?
No, I forgot it was a stat they said like
I can't think of it.
anytime he's up 54 holes, he hasn't lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's no shot. I feel like it's less pressure if I'm chasing. Because like if I do mess up, it's like, all right, whatever. Like he was gonna take it anyways. But I don't like the picture of like, who is it, Undertaker, just kind of like behind me, just chasing, or like they said, what was it last week with Tommy Fleetwood? They said it's like watching the Nature Channel and how it's like a deer just in the field, and like here comes this thing, and like that's what it was comparison to Scottie and Tommy Fleetwood, man. But yeah,
because I don't think anybody is questioning like, oh, can Scottie catch up to him? Everybody's like, can he hold on? Like there was nobody was like, oh, I wonder if Scottie can get him. It was like, can Macintyre hold on to what he has?
You would have thought he would, because I think after the first 2 days, was he up 6 strokes? And then
when I thought like, oh, he might have it, when he made the putt, was it on 17 or yesterday, and he turned around and shushed the crowd?
Yeah.
That's when I was like, all right, like maybe the pressure won't get to. He was feeling himself, like he was going at that point. He was still going toe to toe with Scottie.
Yeah.
And so when he did that, I was like, all right, like maybe he's got this.
And I wonder if Scottie sees something like that, it's like, oh, you just poked the bear.
Yeah.
You just poked the bear, man. So I mean, I like to see the personality come out of Macintyre. He's a pretty corny guy. Just kind of looking at him, so it did look awesome. But I think today, man, there's a couple things I saw from him. He really struggled with the driver. The driver was not in his favor. I believe at one point they say he hit one fairway in like 8 holes, which is just terrible.
Yeah, I think like that. Those last couple of holes, that was the first fairway he had hit.
Exactly.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, even 18, I think he went into the bunker because it was like he got a hole out to have a chance, and then he just got onto the fringe.
Short of the green,
So that was one of his issues as well. Again, I think he only made 1 birdie all day. After, again, I just mentioned the putts per green regulation he had after day 1 was amazing. And his wedge game wasn't sharp because he couldn't even set himself up for a birdie look. And I think it also sucked because go ahead.
I was like, the amount of times he missed a green with a wedge was crazy. It was not like reminiscent of the first 3 days he had, but he missed a ton of greens with a wedge in his hand, which is crazy.
Yeah, man. So I always want to know the mental, like what happened from those first 3 days going into the last day. And I don't know if it is what we talked about. Was it the pressure of knowing like, yo, Scottie's right here? Like it would have been different, all due respect, if it was like, oh, okay, Fleet was behind me. Sam Burns is behind me. You don't really got that pressure, man. And I don't know if he would admit to the fact that, like, man, I just knew Scottie was there and I tensed up. But if we had a chart right now, look at the comparison first 3 days to this last day, man, you would say these are 2 totally different golfers, man. That momentum did not carry over at all, man. But
and I think part of it, like, I remember as an athlete, you might be able to relate to this also. If you had like multiple like good games in a row, that kind of starts playing with your head a little bit too, of like, how do I keep this going? It's like, you start to like kind of psych yourself out a little bit of like, how do I keep this going? Like, is this, am I going to get a bad game coming up? Like, you kind of start overthinking. So I think like when you have amazing rounds in a row, I mean, that can start to play with you a little bit of like, your routine, all that stuff. Like, what do I have to do? You start worrying about that more than, going back out, day to day.
Absolutely, man. And I think another thing, too, they say he had 3 bogeys on the first 3 days, and then he had multiple bogeys. Man, so it's unfortunate what happened to him. But, again, I mean, solo second, I believe, because Sam Burns ended up falling off and going 10 under. And then I think Maverick McNeely got solo third with 11 under. Yeah. So, solid finish, man, but not probably what he wanted compared to where he started. I do want to talk about some names that are outside the top 30 that would not be making it to the Tour Championship in East Lake, man. Ricky Fowler, Xander Schauffele, Matt Fitzpatrick, Jason Day. But the main person I want to talk about right now is Xander Schauffele, man. Hasn't been good off the tee, and he's outside the top 100 in regards to putting. How concerned are you for him going into this Ryder Cup?
Very concerned. I mean, if you look at the last Ryder Cup team, they brought in, and we didn't get into, the controversy on those picks and all that stuff.
For sure.
But you pass up on a guy like Keegan Bradley, who's coming into the Ryder Cup. He was on the bubble, but he was coming in pretty hot with what he had done like the last couple tournaments of the season. You want guys with Speed, Justin Thomas, like those type of guys who have a lot of familiarity with the Ryder Cup, but they were playing pretty bad up to that point, and then they obviously didn't turn it on. Right. And I think the Ryder Cup is all about momentum, like how you're playing. That's why I saw Xander's post-round press conference today, and he was obviously pretty frustrated, but he's like, I'm just take these next 3 weeks and rest. And someone was like, what does that look like for you? He's like, I'm not touching a club and all that stuff, which I get it. Like, no knock on him for that. But it's like, he doesn't have a lot of momentum right now. He's obviously pretty frustrated with where his game's at. And then he's going to have to wait a long time until September comes around for the Ryder Cup. And so, so there's a couple of guys on that list that I'm looking at for Team USA that I'm kind of like, I don't know how, to be honest, like, I don't know how good Keegan Bradley's feeling about kind of how Team USA is right now.
Yeah, and we'll get into that, man, because I definitely want to know your thoughts in regards to that, man. One guy I was very concerned about was Matt Fitzpatrick, which we'll talk about more later on, too, just because he started to make a case for European Ryder Cup. Yeah. He's outside the top 30 as well. I think he finished at 34. I think it's going to be a very interesting situation between him and I believe Matt Wallace, who's at 11. I believe that Fitzpatrick's at 12. But one of those spots is going to Rahm. So that really pushes them to 12 and 13. Yeah. So very interesting, man. But, yeah, I'm concerned for Xander too, man. As world number 3, I don't think the rib injury should be an excuse anymore. Not to say that he is, but I feel like a lot of fans of golf are trying to say, like, oh, we had the rib injury. Well, what's funny? Andrew Novak has the same exact injury, and Novak is playing pretty solid. He had like a little lull towards the end of the year, but he's in the top 30. He's about to go play. So very concerning for Xander, man. I hope these 3 weeks off, I think he needs to play some sort of golf. He can't not touch a club. Because I remember a long time ago, we did an episode with Don Pooley. Don Pooley played on the PGA like in the 80s, played in the match. He had the best finish, I believe, top 4. He said you can't go in there not having played some sort of competitive golf. And he mentioned how back in 2023, I believe Max Homa, I don't know if Max Homa played in the Pro Tour, but Max Homa played in some competitive golf tournament. Max Homa was clearly the MVP of the USA team when it came to the 2023 Ryder Cup, man. So I don't think you should go in there not having any competition at all. Right. But I think he does need to take a degree of rest, but don't come in there being your first active competition is the Ryder Cup, because that's just too big of a tournament not to have some type of competitive match under your belt at that point, man. But, yeah, it's very concerning for Xander. His putter used to be one of his favorite clubs, man. I think he switched putters, I believe, on day 4 just to get a new look and a new feel. Yeah. Obviously didn't favor him as much as he wanted to. But, man, hopefully, I don't know a PGA Tour guy's schedule. Maybe you take 2 weeks off, go play, maybe a week off, play, and then another week of rest. Hopefully figure out that dynamic because, man, we need him firing on all centers. Because I believe last time Ryder Cup was at Bethpage, European team won back in 2023. So we need something to change this week, man, for sure.
And the thing – I remember, like, the last Ryder Cup team, they said he was kind of the galvanizer in the locker room. He's kind of the vocal leader and all that stuff.
Xander, which is interesting. He's a quiet personality.
Yeah, but, I think it does show the seriousness and intensity that he has going into that event. And so I think he does have that going for him. He's obviously been very successful in the past with his, major wins last year and all that. And so but I think if somebody's able to turn around quick, he's the type of guy that would be able to do it. But, yeah, I'm very concerned with how he's been playing.
Yeah, same, man. All right, so obviously speaking about Ryder Cup, man, I know we still have the Tour Championship, man, but a lot of people just closed out their resume for the Ryder Cup because either they're eliminated or maybe they didn't play it well, or some people are still able to finish their resume going into the Tour Championships. So I want to know your opinion. For the Ryder Cup, who's in and who's out, and I want to know your thoughts. I want to start off with this guy, as I just mentioned, Matt Fitzpatrick. Is he in or out?
I feel like he's in.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Do you have a reason why? And if you don't, that's okay.
Just familiarity with being kind of,
Yeah.
he's a big name. He seems like, he's struggled a little bit this year, but he seems like he's always in that, top 10, top 15, He's not
Yeah.
one of those guys that are like, he just seems like he's always there,
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that he's a big name for that team. I think he brings a little bit more excitement. I think more people are familiar with him, so I feel like that's why he's in.
Yeah, if he gets in, I think he's getting in exactly at 12. You probably
Yeah.
bump out Matt Wallace. Like I said, Jon Rahm's going to replace that spot.
Yeah.
It's weird because, and I'll get into LIV, Jon Rahm is the individual champ in LIV, but he had no victories. I have a take, but it's still kind of weird. But I think he gets in at 12 as like the last peak. Like if you're outside playing basketball and you're like, I got this guy, and you come down your last two, you probably take Matt Fitzpatrick due to familiarity and just playing on the team, man. So I'm going to say yes, but it's a very loose yes. Because I was very concerned about Ramses Hogarth, and I'm like, dang, do you keep him? He's right now currently at 8, but he just finished second at the DP World Championship, so he played really. I hate when that pops up sometimes, but he just played very, very well at the DP World Championship. So, I think right now
we were talking about Justin Thomas. I think Matt Fitzpatrick's in that Justin Thomas situation from
last year.
From last Ryder Cup.
Ooh, yeah.
Where it's like, he's a guy they're familiar with. It's hard to, turn him down. Does he deserve to be there? Like, that's maybe up in the air. But
I guess the question I would have is like, who would Matt Wallace be the Keegan Bradley, per se?
Could be, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I'm thinking like, who's Keegan Bradley in this situation? Because Keegan Bradley easily should have been put in over Justin Thomas, no question, man. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's also an interesting discussion point for people in the comments who are watching this. Again, like, subscribe. Next person I want to talk about is Cam Young. In or out?
In.
Oh, with confidence, yeah.
He was a guy that I said like I would pass up on, Brian Harmon or and put Cameron Young in. Again, kind of like what I talked about earlier. Had a rough start, but he's playing really well recently. Had won a couple weeks ago, had the top 10 finish last week, was right outside the top 10 again this week. Like he's playing really well, and I would, he's right on that bubble. Yeah. Just keep riding that momentum.
Yeah. Currently at 14 right now, man. I think I say why not put Cam Young in there, man. He's obviously historically not a winner. He just won, but he's not like historically. That's like not something we always talk about. But he's always close, and I think just with team events, man, I think Cam Young is a really good addition. I would love to hear people's comment on why he may not, but I think the way he's been playing as of lately, and you want momentum going into a Ryder Cup, right? You don't want to be hot early in the season, then you cool off, because then there's some questions if you're really I don't want to say worthy, but like if you're really built to be in the Ryder Cup situation right now. So I think Cam Young, I say why not, man. So I think that's a solid decision to put him in as a captain pick for sure.
I mean, he's got more top 25 finishes, more top 10 finishes than Brian Harmon.
Yeah, but Brian Harmon has at least a win this year at the Valero. So that's the only thing.
Cam won 2 weeks ago.
That's true. Yeah, I'm overthinking Cam as the no winner Cam, but he is a winner now, man. He was equivalent to he was our American Tommy Fleetwood, but not anymore. Sam Burns, in or out?
I'm gonna say in.
Yeah,
because
I love Sam Burns too. Yeah,
because Scottie's gonna go to bat for him.
100%. Yes.
And I mean, again, like we were talking earlier, like he's right there. He's been playing really good. He just hasn't been able, recently the last couple of weeks, he just hasn't been able to like seal the deal.
No.
But I mean, he's a guy that he seems to be getting better every week. And again, I'm much more get all the guys who are playing the best right now as opposed to, some other stuff. So, and like he and Scottie are tight. Scottie's going to go to bat for him for sure.
I agree, man. I like Sam Burns. I've picked Sam Burns a few times this year in regards to our predictions. It's just that his dominance comes in spurts. It's like, dang, like he's had a really good 3 weeks, and then it's like, all right, he's down there like in the 30th, 40th, man. The thing that doesn't come in spurts is his putter. He's top 1 or 2 when it comes to putting this year, man, doing an incredible job. And like you said, if it comes down to, I believe Zach Johnson in his captaincy, he let the first 6 have input on who's going to play.
Yeah.
And if Keegan Bradley does the same thing, like you said, I think Sky's going to go to bat for him. I think they show how they play well together in the President's Cup. And obviously, again, familiarity, man. You guys speak on that. But I'm just afraid with Sam Burns we're going to get. 'Cause like I say, it comes in spurts. It's like, dang, like Sam Burns is probably about to get, because he hasn't won in 2 years. Yeah. And it's like, yo, he's really close, and then like holes 15 on, it's like falls apart. And we don't want to see that at Bethpage at all. But however, I do think you pick him.
Yeah, I think Keegan is going to be much less going the route of letting people bring in friends, and I think he's going to be pretty cutthroat with the people he's picking. But I think when it's Scottie and he's got his 37,000 points, and Scottie comes and he says, "I want Sam on the team," you don't really say no. I think no offense to them, like JJ, Xander, some of those guys. I don't think their input's going to be as much. But
no, the thing that's crazy too is that Sam Burns is all the way down like at 16. So there's 4 guys currently like in front of him, man. We already said Cam Young, but you got Brian Harmon, Andrew Novak, Maverick McNeely, and then obviously I think Keegan Bradley's probably going to pick himself. But like, I can see it. I can see it, man. I just hope we get the right Sam Burns to show up for the Ryder Cup, man. But I think team events are just totally different, but there's still an added pressure because it is the Ryder Cup, man. Next person I want to say, not sure if you've been paying attention to, I'm a huge fan of this guy. He's weird. I don't say he's weird. I know he wears 2 gloves, which seems weird to me. Yeah. But Aaron Rai.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he seems like kind of, I don't know if I'd go, Dietrich's been pretty good too. So
He has. And Dietrich has a win at the waste management too.
I don't think Aaron Rai's done enough.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think he's too kind of fresh also. Like, I think I don't see them picking him.
Yeah, I think if he would have projected himself into the BMW, because he missed last week at the FedEx St. Jude, I think he continues to build towards his resume. But I think missing that and being outside of it,
I think if he was in the top 12,
I might say no.
I think
he's 14. He's not that far off.
I think if he was like that, even like 11, 12, then. But I don't think he's done enough to, throw people in the top 12 out for him.
Yeah, I don't think so either, man. But I do like the guy a lot. Yeah. Obviously, easy answer here, but obviously he's nowhere in the top 16 because he's in LIV. Jon Rahm.
Oh yeah, I mean you gotta do.
Yeah. He just shot 60 today too. So
yeah, I mean you can't like. And I will say, like, since he went to LIV, he's done pretty bad in the majors. But this year, he's done a lot better in the majors. I think.
Yes, yeah.
He's playing better, but yeah, I mean, it's like you can't put a team together and not. He's definitely one of the 12 best European players,
for sure. Doubt. I think last year though he was battling like a toe injury. I think that's what kind of affected him. So, because I personally hate the take that people got worse because they went to LIV. I'm like, that is not the case, bro. Going to another golf league does not make you worse. Because I've said this before on the podcast. What do you say for Max Homa's case? What do you say for Sahith Theegala's case? They didn't go to LIV, and I think golf just has regressions at times. Yeah, it just happens, man. I don't think going to another league makes you worse by any means. The only person who needs to be studied is Cam Smith. Cam Smith's regression needs to be studied. It is horrible. But go ahead.
I think you're at a little bit of disadvantage though, just because of like professional golfers, professional athletes. They're so big on their routine, and a routine of a LIV event is going to be way different than coming back and doing, a major event. I mean, you're traveling, you're in all sorts of different time zones. You got to structure, time zones, how you recover those from around the majors and all that stuff. While guys that are just on the PGA, it's the same. They're playing in the United States pretty much every week except for a couple,
The European rule, yeah.
Yeah. They got their same routine. They all use like the same physios. They all got the same recovery stuff. Time zone doesn't change a whole lot from week to
Hmm.
week. I think with Live, that's been their biggest problem is,
But
you're going
they
from
don't play every week though. Liv doesn't.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
yeah.
still like, if you're in, Australia and then you're coming back 3 weeks later and you're playing the U.S., that's a
Still
lot of
tough.
travel.
Still
Yeah, it's
tough.
still
Yeah.
pretty tough. So I think, and that's another thing too. They're not playing as frequently as you are on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. I
So,
think
so
I
I,
think
so I agree with you. I think talent wise, they don't suffer. I think
yeah.
it's more
Routine based.
you're having to readjust to a lot of different outside variables
Hmm.
more than a guy that's just on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. And I think Nate has said this one time too. The reason why DeChambeau like does these like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can shoot low at this random course because he's still trying to keep himself in like in a competitive
Yeah,
mindset because he's not playing every single week and stuff. And I think that fared well for him for the most part last year because he was in contention in all majors
yeah,
except the Open last year. But this year didn't really fare well. I think his putter kind of just lost him this year for the most
yeah,
part. But I think that's a good point. I think routine definitely does play a factor in going to live, but I don't think your talent regresses because you
right,
went to live, man. So that's a good point, man.
right.
Next person I want to talk about, just said it, Ramses Hogard.
I mean,
Didn't make it past
I
the FedEx,
yeah,
but currently at 8 and just got
I
second
think
at the DP Championships.
it's like I think he's safe. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
high enough. He's high
Hmm.
enough ranked to
Yeah.
where again, I think he would need to be closer to that 11, 12, 13 line.
To say
But I
no.
think I think he's safe where he's at.
Yeah, I think good point. I agree. Next person, Ben Griffin.
I think he did. You see he overdosed on creatine?
I know. Yeah, no, I did not. I didn't actually didn't see that. I know that's part of his routine because me and Nate talked about it after he won. I believe the Charles Schwab. I believe because he was talking about like his glasses and then like his
Yeah.
routine and stuff. I did not know. So he was probably geeked out there, huh?
No, so that's what somebody asked him, like, what happened today? He's like,
Yeah.
I didn't get to hear the whole thing, but it
Yeah.
was like, he's like, yeah, I overtook too much creatine and kind of like overdosed on it during the
Oh
round.
man.
So, I think he's safe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he's had a good enough. He went on that tear for like 2 or 3 weeks,
He did. Yeah.
a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He started
it's
to,
hard.
he started to regress a little bit towards the end of the season, but then he's
Yeah.
starting to pick it back up too, and he's going to be in the Tour Championship as well.
But again, I think he's high enough in the ranking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at people below him. I don't know
Who you replace?
who
Yeah.
you would replace. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point. And obviously, you said not Brian Harmon, so
no,
yeah,
I'm out on Brian Harmon.
that's funny, man. I want if Nate would say otherwise because Nate's a lefty. Next person I want to talk about, Chris Gotterup. It was some murmurs at one point that like, does Keegan pick him?
I don't think so.
Yeah. One thing I'm saying about him is it seems like he's, for at least this year, with evidence, he's been dominant with link style golf. Bethpage is obviously not a link style course.
Yeah,
He's been obviously he keeps sneaking in to like
Yeah.
okay the top 50, top 30,
Yeah.
and they said he was at his parents' house in Maryland hoping that because he needed help to get into the top
Yeah.
30. I think he finished at 29.
yeah,
But I don't think he's doing enough to make a case. Now he has one more interview technically at Eastlake, and I think the only way Keegan does pick him is if he wins. But I'm gonna have to say no as well currently right now as we speak though.
Would you put him over Batia?
Akshay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
At least Goddard has a win. Akshay doesn't
Yeah.
have a win,
that's a
at
good
all.
point.
Yeah. Next, man, it's a wave of emotions, but Ricky Fowler.
He's that. I mean, I think that if I'm picking a team, I'm picking who's my best 12 right now, regardless of their relationships with others. Like I
Yeah.
think we saw the last Ryder Cup that didn't work well at all for the U.S. So I say you gotta leave him out. As much as I love Ricky Fowler,
For sure.
you just can't. Especially with he's not even in the top. He's not playing next week. So
Yeah. And it's crazy because he started to get some momentum towards the end of the year as well. He started off at 64, got himself into the FedEx, got himself into the Tour, not Tour Championship, excuse me, got himself into the BMW. I was mad at him at the Ryder Cup when he conceded to Tommy Fleetwood because that was still a lengthy putt that he should have made Fleetwood putt out, but he didn't. But when he got that double on 15, he was hoping he was going to recover. Really didn't recover at all. Ended up knocking himself outside the top 30. But yeah, I think ultimately the answer is indeed no for Ricky Fowler, man. So last person I want to say, and it's a bit of a reach, but at one point you could make an argument for this guy because I was making an argument for this guy. Captain America, Patrick Reed.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either, man. I think his last opportunity to solidify that if he would have just made the cut at the Open, maybe finished like a top 30 for sure, but he missed that cut. But he had that momentum like in the middle of the season because like he got solo third at the Masters. He did really good at not the U.S. Open. I think he missed he made the cut at the U.S. Open. And then U.S. Open. He missed the PGA Championships. And then he won in Dallas in the playoffs. Yeah. And this week he finished at T11. But I think playing in front of Keegan, that opportunity in the Open really kind of ruins his hopes, man. So I think the murmurs really quiet down for Patrick Reed. But at one point it made sense. If he had the vote at that moment and get a pick, I think you do pay Patrick Reed. I know he's not a fan favorite and stuff like that, but historically I think he's 7-3-1 in the Ryder Cup. It's like, why not? But
that's what I don't, I haven't ever played team golf, obviously, but I can't buy the strategy of like chemistry in the locker room is a big deal. I'm like, I really don't. You want your guys to be cohesive, but at the end of the day, like, is Justin Thomas playing better because Jordan Spieth is out on the course, 5 holes ahead of him? Like, no, like it's an individual,
That's true, but do you not think like dog, I want to play for my dog Spieth, even though he's not there, as opposed to, with all due respect, like I want to play for Wyndham Clark.
I don't think it matters, to be honest. I think you're so dialed on wanting to beat the European team, like you're going against the Europeans more than you're going for. I mean, even I think Sam Burns and Scottie Scheffler would say the same thing. Like they want to beat the Europeans way worse than they want to win for each other.
Yeah.
I think anyway.
Yeah, that's good. That's fine. I'll take that. All right, I want to transition to this, man. I want to talk about Rory McIlroy. I think he finished. What did he finish this week with? Like above the top 15. I think he finished even today, but I believe he's above top 15. But he didn't play last week at Memphis, and there was a lot of pushback on his absence. I would love to know your thoughts on regards to skipping playoff golf. And we know historically it has been done. I mean, there are guys who've done it due to injury. There are guys who've done it due to rest. But what are your thoughts on just skipping, like, playoff golf?
I hate the format that you can do that. I think if you're in the playoffs, like, I mean, any other sport, you can't skip unless you get a bye or whatever. But you can't skip the first. You can't skip the first round. I think the same thing. Like, I understand why he did it. Like, if you
strategically it makes sense. Yeah,
because I mean he's going to play the DP later this year and all that. Yep. He's got a lot more golf to play than U.S. golfers do. So I think for his career, it's a loophole. Like, it was a smart thing to do. I think for the FedEx Cup, though, it's such a bad – I don't know how you change it, though, but I hate – the format is so bad right now. Like, I think you have to do, something like what LIV does. If you really want it to be like the season-long champion, you either got to do what LIV does where it's just, Scottie's already awarded that. Yeah. And this is just a different thing. You make 2 different awards, like a playoff champion and then like a season champion or whatever. But yeah, I just hate the idea that you can skip a playoff round and then it doesn't affect you really going into like the next. Yeah. I think if you're in the playoffs, you got to play. If you don't play, then you're done. Like.
Yeah, but I guess what they said, like historically, Roy doesn't really like playing in Memphis, and there was one year he finished 68 out of 70, and he only went down like 2 spots. Right. So he's like, why play? Or what I just be talking to myself in the car. It's like, yo, do you implement like bye weeks? Like, yo, if you finish top 5 in a FedEx Cup, do you get a bye week? But then again, it's kind of like it's the same of just by your own choice not playing. So like, do you really even implement that? But I think they need to do something different. Where I hate using the word forced to play, but I think they increased the purse for the playoffs and stuff like too. You would hope that would have been, a stipulation, or I guess not stipulation. I guess an extra, motivation to play. But like Roy's like, I don't need money, bro. So
yeah,
like,
he literally said that.
Yeah, I don't need money.
Like,
yeah. So I mean, but they have to figure out something, man, because you want to see the best people face off. Now, granted, or do you do something where like, if you gave everyone like an even ground, like this doesn't matter. And if you finish, do you make a cut line for it? And if you miss the cut,
that's what I think you have to do. If you want to make it like
competitive and interesting.
It's like, you take the top 100 guys, you cut that to the top 50 guys. If you're not in the top 50 in that first tournament, like doesn't matter if you're Scottie Scheffler, you're done.
Because
if,
I like the
20,
thought. I like the thought of like a number 2 seed, like a Rory, can get eliminated in the first round. Yeah. So I think they should probably try to play it from scratch, make it its own separate thing. You have to find a way to get in, but just like all of the sports, once you're in, you gotta earn your way. And
I mean, Scottie could have played last week and this week left-handed, and he'd still be.
He would have made it.
And so.
And he earned that. He earned that.
Yeah. I think you take the top 100 at Memphis. The top 50 get to go to BMW. And the top 25 go from BMW to was it Eastlake?
Yeah, because only people that are at risk are bubble guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seed are never at risk. At that point, they can just like, I'm gonna work on something new to prepare myself for Eastlake. Yeah. And
it's like you got in that situation where it's like, I mean, with like Michael Kim it's like some guy that's in 10th misses a putt and bumps the dude in like 30th out. It's like, come on.
Yeah, but that kind of happens in other sports too, like in football. Like, if the Carolina Panthers, who last year were the worst team, let's say they upset, the Philadelphia Eagles, would that project, hypothetically, this isn't the real scenario, would that project like the Dallas Cowboys into a wild card spot? Like, it could happen. So I'm not really mad about that, but I think they do need to twist something that puts the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guy in jeopardy where they have to play. At least for a fan perspective, like, we want to see that. I know the golfers probably wouldn't like that, but I would love to see what that looks like if they do switch it.
I love the idea of the players being the 5th major, but I was also like, what if you make Eastlake the 5th major?
Yeah, I think Sawgrass is just a little bit more iconic than Eastlake. I mean, Eastlake that 18th hole is amazing. It's amazing.
But I was like, what if but I was like thinking about like, the end of that play, the winner of that playoff is like that's also a major champion. It just puts more,
Yeah. Sometimes I'm weary of changing stuff like that because that it wasn't fair. Like Tiger back, because like now it's like, how many majors will Tiger have? Would he have caught Jack? Or if Jack would have had that, like, does he extend that to, as opposed to 18? Does he get 21 majors and stuff like that? That's my only thing. But I do think you just make it its own separate event and stuff like that. Yeah.
I like the 4. I mean, I love the players. I like the 4 majors.
Players are amazing.
But I was like, if you add a 5th major, it probably does have to be the players. But I was like, it's just an interesting thought if you make the 5th major, the end of the playoff. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Hey, that's what I want to transition to now. Rory's comment on Keegan Bradley saying you can't do both. And this is what Rory was quote saying. He says, I just think the commitment that a captain has the week of, you think about the extra media that a captain has to do. You think about the extra meetings that the captain has to do, the vice captains with the PGA of America. In Keegan's case, preparing your speech for the opening ceremony. Just there's a lot of things that people don't see that captain does the week of the Ryder Cup, especially now that the Ryder Cup has become so big. And Keegan's response was, he might be right. We don't know. No one knows. Yeah, like everybody's telling me to start the year that a player can't be a captain and have a good year. For me, I feel like this is one of my best years that I've had. One of the strangest things, what I've done throughout my entire career is really lean on other people for advice and calling people and asking them, how do you prepare for a major? What do you do with the last tee time? How do you deal with the media? How do you deal with the corporate obligations? In this instance, there's no one to call, so nobody knows how this can work. I certainly have a lot of concerns, as well as everyone else has, but I have the most incredible vice captains, including Jim Furyk, who's been one of the teams, who's been on these teams and been captain a bunch of times. Quite frankly, I've been leaning on them more than any other captain I ever anyways. I don't know why it says a captain ever anyways. Even if I'm not playing. We're ready for this to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to. I can truly sit here right now and say I don't know what's going to happen. I have to look at myself just like any other player trying to make the team. I'm 10th in points right now, and that's not the 6th. So what are your thoughts on Rory saying
Which I think
you can't
now
do
he
it?
got bumped down to 12th, right?
He's probably down, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I want to know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Rory saying you can't do it?
I mean, I tend to agree with what it would be really hard. And I mean, I thought it was kind of interesting too, because, obviously Rory stirred the pot a lot the last Ryder Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think that, there's a little bit of gamesmanship with his comment, because I think if he can plant a little bit of a seed,
yeah.
And make somebody mad that's like, oh, like Keegan just picked himself and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do believe he believes what he said, but I think there was also some strategy behind, like, let's just try to plant like a little seed of get, try to like disarray what they're doing over there a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think like I look at Keegan as, I love that they picked him as captain, because like I said, I think the whole friend thing I love it, because I think I
wanted Stewart sink, bro.
Yeah,
I wanted Stewart sink.
Yeah.
I wanted Stewart. But go ahead, continue.
I think that having somebody who's still on the tour, who's still winning tournaments on the tour, is a good pick. Everybody says they respect Keegan, but he doesn't really have friends. He's a super serious guy. I think it's the opposite of what they try to go with the last Ryder Cup. They kind of blew up in everybody's face. So I loved the pick as captain.
Yeah.
I think him right now, he's probably one of the best 12 American golfers.
Yeah.
But I think him plus all the stuff he's got to do for the Ryder Cup, he's not going to be one of the 12 best golfers. So I kind of hope he leaves himself out of it, because I think he could be a really, really good captain. I tend to agree with Rory that what he said is true. It makes sense. That's kind of my take. I think if Keegan wasn't a captain, I'd want him on the team. I think he'd be really good. I think
for sure.
With everything else that you got to do as a captain and all that stuff, plus play. If you're playing like Rory said, if you're playing really good and you can't go out twice because you've got captain responsibilities, when otherwise you could have gone out twice, in a day. And so yeah, I hope that he leaves himself out of it and just as the captain. I don't think he is. I think if he was going to do that, he would have closed the door already. If he does, I'm a big Keegan fan. If he does play, I'm not going to hate it. But
if Keegan doesn't play, who's that 12th player then? You scratched out Brian Harmon. We scratched out Ricky Fowler. We're saying
that's where we put Sam Burns in, I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Awesome. My thoughts on it. So look at this from a biblical perspective.
Yeah.
Luke 1:37 says nothing's impossible with God. So there's possibilities can do it. Now, I'm not sure if saying you can't do it versus saying it's impossible to do are on the same level. Not, they're probably two different things, but there's not much evidence showing that you can or cannot do it, except we look back at 1963. Arnold Palmer was a playing captain and led his USA team to a victory. Yeah. Now, things have evolved. Media obligations are probably a lot more bigger. The implications on what is at stake probably a little bit more bigger in terms of environmental. Because I think regardless, every year Ryder Cup is huge. No matter how many people are watching, what the media responsibilities are, it's still huge. But there is a sense of evidence, at least one time, of a person playing and succeeding in it. And I think if anything, Keegan, if you're deciding to play, whoever was on that team at the time, ask for evidence on like how Arnold Palmer, managed that, or historically look up information on what he did. But like I say, it might be hard just because, again, there wasn't no social media, didn't have to do all this stuff when the time Arnold Palmer did it. But
it's got all the makings to be one of the best stories in golf. Like he, he had the last Ryder Cup that he's on where he still hasn't opened the bag. He's not going to open the bag until he wins the Ryder Cup again.
Yeah.
It's up in the Northeast, close to his home.
Home.
He's
Yep.
he's the
Jersey.
Northeast
Yep.
guy. He's the captain. He qualified himself, picked himself, and then if he can play well and they win, I mean, it's one of the best stories in golf. If he doesn't play well,
that's the thing.
Then it's like, man, you screwed up the team because you picked yourself and all that stuff.
And respectfully, you don't want to be a worse captain than Zach Johnson.
Yes.
Because I don't think Zach would do this, but now if he doesn't perform well, he's gonna be like, see, that's why I ain't picking. Yeah, and I hope there's no pride in Zach's heart to say that, and I don't think he'll say it publicly, but I don't even want to give him the ammo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying here, but yeah, man, very interesting to see what he's going to do. I believe they make this decision pretty soon. I think in regards to who they're going to pick as the next 6, man, I'm going to stay super alert to see who those captain picks are going to be. I don't think Luke Donald has as much pressure on him as Keegan does. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I do want to transition into LIV Golf. I currently like watching LIV Golf. I know it's the most hated golf league in the world, which I still don't, outside of how it's backed, I don't understand, because I just like good golf no matter where it is, man. So just real quick, guys, probably one of the more dominant performances by a LIV team and individual. Sebastian Munoz wins the individual championship in Indianapolis, beating Jon Rahm in a playoff, despite Jon Rahm shooting 60. I think Sebastian shooting 59 on day 2, which is incredible, man.
Crazy,
but they ended up forcing a playoff, and unfortunately, Jon Rahm parred. Sebastian Munoz ended up birdieing, giving him the victory. But also, as a team, Torque GC gets the victory as well, man. So I think collectively, as an individual, as a team, Torque GC and Sebastian Munoz did a great job getting the win on LIV this week. Now, I'm speaking to the source of a discussion we had a few weeks ago on how Joaquin Nieman is super overrated. It was this guy right here. It was Chris Elliott. As a sports fan, I want to know what makes you make that claim.
I think that, he's done so bad in majors.
He has. Besides one.
I mean, yeah. I think part of it is when people hear like he's overrated, it's he's a phenomenal golfer. I'm not tearing down his golf game.
Yeah.
It's when guys like Phil Mickelson say he's better than Scottie, and he's never even touched the leaderboard that Scottie's on.
No, not at all.
And so that's where I'm like, when people make the argument, like the LIV people make an argument that he's like a top, 3 player in the world. It's like, no, he's not. Like, he's a phenomenal player. He's torn up LIV. He's dominating LIV. It's impressive what he's doing. But no, when he is in tournaments with the best golfers in the world, he's not even in the top 10. So it's not taking anything away from his game. It's like, it's more talking about the people that are, build him up. He's not a top 10 golfer.
I think Phil likes trolling though, so he probably did that to get some buzz.
I mean, he's not the only one that Bill talks him up like that. I think I agree. Phil is a troller, but I'm like, when I say like he's overrated, it's because he's not performed well at all in the tournaments that he's around the best players in the world. Yeah,
he only has one top 10 PGA Championship. He finished with a T8. But I agree with that statement, bro. And it sucks because I like Joaquin Nieman. I've picked him. I picked him once this year. I picked him multiple times last year, and he constantly let me down.
Yeah.
And not like, oh man, you finished second. You finished second. I'm like, that's incredible, man. Good job here. But yeah, Joaquin Nieman, man, unfortunately doesn't really does not showcase his LIV talents on the majors. Especially a guy who has 5 wins in LIV, man. You would hope that kind of translates into the majors. Doesn't at all, man. So I can see the take, man. And I like how you broke it down too. You're not saying it from like a disrespectful manner, but just like the heightened, I guess, media presence that he gets with guys like Phil saying he's better than Scottie. And I'm sure Joaquin even probably sees that stuff, and then it's like, damn, I got to compete against Scottie.
Yeah.
Because there's no pressure to Phil, because, like, Phil, you're not in contention anymore.
Yeah.
Granted, you're a legendary guy, man. You're already in the Hall of Fame, but it's just like you're making it harder for Joaquin by saying that, bro. So, yeah, I hear what you said. But now let me hear your thoughts on this, man. And I alluded to this earlier in the episode, man. Rahm is the seasonal champ in LIV, despite having no victories this year, against Joaquin Nieman, who has 5 victories this year, including a team victory this past week. What are your thoughts?
I'm not familiar with like their point system, how they do it. But yeah, it's the same thing as like, I think it's the opposite on the PGA Tour is facing the same thing, because it's like if Scottie can finish tied for 14th next week, and so somebody else's Batia could win and he's the tour champion. It's the opposite. It's like you got to fix something. If a dude doesn't win a single tournament, he can't be the season long champion. Like I guess it's a point system. So he's just got a ton of like top 5s or whatever.
Yeah, so statistically he has 12 top 10s in 13 matches, 7 of them are in the top 5. And he showed incredible consistency all year.
Yeah.
Versus, although Joaquin Nieman has 5 victories, Joaquin Nieman has like a bunch of T23s, T33, of
that's
top
why it's
20.
like you got to figure out how to weight like tournaments, tournaments that you win, you've got to weight those more than what they do right now.
And I wonder too on LIV if certain tournaments have more weight to them to get more points.
Like the signature
events, yeah. Versus like, okay, you won the Players versus winning the Charles Schwab. You're not gonna get many FedEx Cup points as you do, with the Players and stuff, man. But I mean, I guess good for him because he's back-to-back seasonal win. Now, granted, last year he did have a win on LIV. Doesn't have one this year, but I always just found it pretty interesting. Like, man, this dude's the season champion with no victories, and Joaquin Nieman has 5. And I think Joaquin Nieman finished like T5 or T6 this week. So very, very interesting, man. But all right, guys, we're gonna move over to our Tour Championship predictions. And again, guys, we're not picking Sky on this channel. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. It's too easy to. And even like when I watch at these golf channels, bro, it feels like they're rooting for Scottie, which I think is unfair. Yes. And when they honestly, when they did Ricky Fowler's interview, first thing they asked Ricky Fowler was about Scottie. I'm like, that is rude. That is rude, bro. So, and I always want to see other people win on tour because I'm like, man, I want to know how Golf Channel, Golf Digest, whoever it may be, are going to speak about it because I feel like they're unprepared. Like, oh shoot, this Scottie statistics stuff ready, and Cam Young win. I don't know what to say right now. Yeah. So yeah, we don't pick Scottie over here, and it's no disrespect, bro. Scottie is undeniably number 1 golfer in the world, but I think it takes away from thinking when it comes to picking people because it's just too easy, man. It's like picking the Patriots in the early 2000s every week. It's like that's no fun at all. So, but yeah, so format here, Chris, because the field is a lot smaller. You're gonna get 3 predicting winners and 1 dark horse. So we'll definitely love to hear your takes, man.
So first one, he's been knocking at the door, Tommy Fleetwood.
Oh my gosh, I'm not holding my breath at all.
I think he is. I like where he's at right now with his game.
Yeah, it's just go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
I think he's going into this week. He's you get to a point he's blown enough. I think he's going into this week that's like he's got no pressure on him. Yeah. And I think he's going to be able to play without pressure, without feeling pressure. So I'm going him. What are you going to say to that?
I was just going to say, man, it's just crazy because scoring average, he's 3rd. And of the top 6 people in scoring average, he's the only one without a victory.
Yeah.
And you would hope that Fleetwood can play with less pressure because he's already solidified himself as a European Ryder Cup player. So there's nothing you really need to do in terms of like adding to that. Because that's really what a lot of people, they're playing to win. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people are like playing to solidify that Ryder Cup position. But you qualified already, so I'm hoping like he can just play like, you know what, I can go out here, hopefully just have fun, and just hopefully it turn into a victory. But I think I feel like the monkey's on his back, like where he thinks about like, okay, I'm in first going to these last 3 holes, because his last 3 holes, every time he's been in contention this year is where he's always faltered. Not last week. Yeah, well, the FedEx St. Jude, it was hole 17, bogeyed, messed him up. We look back at the Travelers, his approach shot was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, how do you not hit the green? And I'm not disrespecting him by any means, because all you guys go look at golf right now, and you can clown me for the stuff I be doing. But it's just like, I don't know if he's putting the added pressure on himself to not close out a victory, but we all do want to see it. We do want to see it, though.
He's too good to not get a victory, and I think he's due.
I've been saying he's due for a long time, bro. And it's like I said, every time it's hurt my feelings, bro. It's hurt my feelings a lot, dog. So, I mean, we'll see. The guy I'm going to go with, bro, I'm going to go with Harris English. Did really good at the Open. He has a victory this year. He's already solidified his spot in the Ryder Cup, man. But it seems like some people aren't really respecting him as the top 6.
Yeah.
And I want to see, for the sake of Harris English, go out there and show you, like, okay, watch what I do now. Now, in the same way I just said about Fleetwood, even though his motives are different, I don't want Harris English to be like, well, I already solidified my Ryder Cup spot, so, like, what purpose do I have trying to win this? But I would love to see him go out there and try to win to a degree, man. Putting, he's in the top 25, man. Putting is probably obviously one of the most, let's say, important clubs you have in the bag, man. Because like they say, you know, you drive for show, you putt for dough, man. So being in the top 25 with that is amazing, bro. Like I say, he's finished with some solid top 10s. Did really good at the Open. But I would like to see Harris English do well. He's only missed 2 cuts this year too. He's been having a really good season. But I think for him to prove that like he's willing, he's a willful top 6 player, he should dominate. Because I know like when it was Wyndham Clark last year, no one really respected Wyndham Clark as like in those like 4 guys when it came to Xander. Colin was having an amazing year last year. Scottie, and it was like, oh yeah, and you too, Wyndham. Yeah. I want Harris English to kind of like, you know, make a point here. So yeah.
Boring pick, but I'm gonna go Rory, your guy.
Okay.
He's had success in this tournament. He chased down Scottie like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think in his career, he can kind of have a tendency to, obviously he hasn't been great since the Masters. But in his career, he's kind of had a tendency, he can kind of lull you to sleep and then show up.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we might see one of those situations where, you know, we obviously saw he's playing the long game, not playing last week, playing this week. You know, he said he doesn't feel great about his game, but he said the back 9 he found something that he really liked and started playing really well. So, I think that he's somebody that, you know, he can kind of be lulling you to sleep, and then he could have a really good week next week.
Love it. That's a good pick, bro. My second pick, man, I told myself I wasn't going to pick this guy all season because of the aggressive fall off he kind of had, but he's a great guy. When me and Nate did our PGA draft, I drafted him in the 3rd round because of the upside he had. Going with Ludwig Oberg, bro. Won obviously the signature event at the Genesis at Torrey Pines. Yeah. Played incredible there. Took down Maverick McNeely, man. I'm just super hopeful. He had a good week this week, man. I think he kind of had a bad. I don't know if it's 17 or 18. It might have been 17. He kind of like fell off par. But then again, everyone fell off at 17 besides Scottie this week, man. But yeah, I'm going to go with Ludwig Oberg, bro. Statistically, doing really good stroke skating off the tee. He's ranked 11th, as well as fairway proximity. He's ranked 3rd. And approach shots from 100, because he's a big driver, he's in the top 5. So if he can get his driver working, man, I think he can be in contention. I want to see him win, because I would say this would be like if he wins, it'd be like a good bad year for him, because you're a 2-time winner. But every other tournament, you kind of were invisible. Like, he would make the cut, but it's like, T42, T53. And it's like, you're not really showing the upside that you have. And I think, obviously, for Ludwig, you want to have some momentum going into the Ryder Cup because he's not even in the top 6 for his case. But you want to have some confidence for your country going into the Ryder Cup. So yeah, I'm going with Ludwig Oberg. I feel like I just went against my old self, what I said a long time ago. But you got to pick. I'm only down to 30 people to pick.
I know. Well, and it's like, I'm like, can I see him beating Scottie? No. Can I see him beating Scottie? No.
I don't think we don't really see anyone beating Scottie except if Rory decides to like play like the number 2 golfer in the world. That's the only time.
Yeah. My last pick, I want to say Keegan.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I've got a dark horse or somebody else. But I think the reason why I'm picking him, if he wins 2 tournaments, it's undeniable. He needs to be on the Ryder Cup team.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that. So I think he's going to have a little extra motivation. He's going to go in playing super aggressive. And it's either going to work really well for him or not work well. But I think he knows that if he can win this, then it's a no-brainer, you know. And I don't think he wants anything more than to be on this Ryder Cup team at home, on American soil, you know, avenge what happened to him the last Ryder Cup, all that stuff. So that's why I'm picking him. I think he's got some juice behind him this week.
Right, and I have the same pick with Keegan Bradley because I said you have to give yourself more evidence why it makes sense to pick yourself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, being at 12, you are showing that you're the top 12 player, but I think the momentum for our reasoning has died off quite a bit since the Travelers. Because, again, the Travelers, when you play the Travelers and you have to pick next week, you pick yourself right now, bro. We would not give you any pushback. Now there will probably be like a tug of rope argument in regards to why he should pick himself and why he shouldn't. I think if he can secure a win at East Lake, now we're going like, all right, man, we feel a lot better about you officially making a decision of you picking yourself.
Absolutely.
If you come to end up picking yourself, man. So I had that same exact pick, bro. Yeah. Even though lately it hasn't shown, but I hope the Tour Championship makes a good reason why.
Yeah. All right. Dark horse. Talked about him already. Same reasoning as Tommy Fleetwood, but I'm going Sam Burns.
Okay, yeah.
He's been knocking on the door. I think that, you know, same with Fleetwood. You mess up at the end of tournaments enough, you know what not to do to put yourself in that situation again. You know, he had the kind of choked on the playoff, you know, what tournament it was, you know, about a month ago. I mean, he was right there today. He had that mess up on 17 and kind of fell off, and 18.
Yeah.
But I think he's been kind of knocking on the door of these top 5s. He lost in that playoff a couple weeks ago. I think his game is good enough to win next week. Yeah,
absolutely, man. In my dark horse, bro, and I'm not picking this because Nate picks this guy every week, but I'm going Victor Hovland. You hope we can see the surges he had in 2023, but bro, his irons and wedges have been incredible. His short game historically has always not been his strong suit, but man, if he can just hit some greens and just but if he can get within proximity and get himself to a one-putt situation, man, I think he can for sure have a huge chance of winning. And I think, is he in the top 6? I don't think he's in the top 6 either.
I don't think so.
Yeah, man. So a lot of these big names on the European side are not even in the top 6, man. But I think
he and Ludwig are 9 and 10.
Yeah, bro. So
they're right on that edge.
Yeah, man, and they're going to get picked. There's no question about. Yeah, you're going to pick. Yeah. But you as if you're Luke Donald, man, you want to have a little bit more assurance on why I picked him. But again, his irons have been really good all year. Short game, again, like I said, has been in question. But I think Victor Hovland's a solid dark horse when it comes to 30 people that I have to pick from. So I'm going with Victor Hovland. So yeah,
it is interesting because I mean, you look at the American and European side. There's a lot of guys still in this top 30 that are outside of the Ryder Cup rankings. That if they win, it's going to be hard to turn them down. Like regardless of who it is. Like if you're playing next week and you win, it's going to be hard to say no if you're not already an automatic qualifier.
Could be Brian Harman.
No.
But
I'm saying if he wins this next week, then I got to change. I got to pick him. I don't think I'm not worried about it. But
yeah. But hey guys, we would love to know what your picks are for the Tour Championship. We'd love to hear your thoughts in regards to the Ryder Cup. Again, guys, if you're watching this, go check out Beyond the Game, man. Amazing devotional, man. I think Chris did a great job coming up with that idea and being obedient to what the Lord put on his heart and making that. We're trying to get this thing to be a New York's Times bestseller.
That's right.
So let's continue to support. I'll put the link in the bio in regards to where you can get it. Appreciate you guys watching this episode of Golf and Gospel Podcast, man. Chris, everybody in Arizona is going to miss you, man. Safe travels to Tampa. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
I hope I held it down for Nate okay.
Yeah. I think he'll be happy with how you did, man.
Perfect.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.